Hello, this is the introduction to the course, Your Roadmap to Successful Parenting. Hopefully by now you'd have watched the welcome video, and then that may have prompted you to watch the 5 key skills video if you haven't already. And hopefully you've done the 3 tasks that we talked about, which are the parenting wheel of life, noting down your parenting goals, and also noting down your struggles and fears. If you haven't done those 3 things yet, this is another chance to try and get it done before Module 1 kicks off soon. So the purpose of this introduction is so that together we can check where you are now in your parenting and where you want to be, so that throughout the course we can observe the progress. For those people on the group coaching course, we'll be able to work on it together, and usually the obstacles and the struggles are what might stop people from moving as quickly as they want to, and I can help coach you through it. That will be different on the self-paced course because I won't be aware of where you are, but hopefully you'll be keeping tabs on it. If at any point you feel like you need one-to-one coaching, or maybe you want to join a group coaching program, just let us know so that we can make the self-paced course even more beneficial for you. So the purpose of the parenting wheel of life was basically for us to put 10 different parts or aspects of parenting on the wheel, and then you can rate how satisfied you are in each of those areas. If you've already done that, I really hope that, it helps you see how you're feeling. It's sometimes we think we know how we feel about a situation, but when we see it on a wheel like that and everything is around a 4 or a 3, or one area is much higher and the other areas, you can start to get a picture or a glimpse into what might be affecting your parenting. So I hope it was useful for you. What we'll do now is, if you haven't already done it, or if you have done it, you can get the sheet out and let's go through it. So the first part on the wheel is the self-understanding. How well do you know yourself as a parent? How well do you understand your strengths and your weaknesses? How you show up as a parent? And then when you look at how well that is, are you satisfied with how well you know yourself? If you think, I completely understand myself, I completely know how I show up, I'm very self-reflective, then great. I'm satisfied with how well I know myself. But if you feel like, I am not quite satisfied with how well I see myself, I don't see myself clearly enough, I think I don't reflect enough and stuff like that, I don't really understand why I parent the way I parent, then maybe you're not as satisfied. And so the reflective exercises and module would really help you with that. The second area is understanding your child. How well do you understand your child, their needs, their emotion, what's behind the behavior? How well do you feel you understand it? How satisfied are you with your understanding of your child? Really think about it. So it's not about, it's more about, are you satisfied with how well you know them? The first question was, are you satisfied with how well you know yourself? So second one, are you satisfied with how well you know them? So take a step back and really look at it. Is there so much more that you can get to know and understand about them? Those first 2 areas will be tackled and looked at in module 1. So if you're feeling like, oh, I don't feel so great here, then module 1 is where you really have to, pay attention and do the task and get the most out of it. The third part is managing emotions, your emotions. How satisfied are you with how you manage your emotions? When you get frustrated, do you lash out? How do you behave? How satisfied are you with your ability to not suppress your emotions, but to deal and grow with good coping mechanisms that actually help you and help your child in a healthy way to learn how to manage your emotions? So how satisfied are you with your ability to do that? If you find that you're not as satisfied, then module 2 is where you would really see the help that you need in that particular area. Number 4, emotional regulation of your child. How satisfied are you with your child's ability to manage their emotions? If you feel like this is just something that I've not been able to teach them, I don't think they're really good at, then again, put that number down, and module 2 is where we'll really focus on this particular area. Number 5 is boundaries. How satisfied are you with your ability to set boundaries and to stick to them consistently? How satisfied are you with your child's ability to respect the boundaries set? Again, module 3 in this case is all about boundaries, so you definitely get the help you need there. The next part, so the 6th part of the parenting wheel of life, is your child's behavior. How satisfied are you with your child's behavior? I suspect that that's why you're here. So again, just let's note it so that we can see the progression as we apply the things we're learning. And you'll find that all the modules will help you with that. Already module 1, 2, and 3 will start to see a difference in your child's behavior as you diligently apply the concepts that are being taught. The next part, number 7, is your parenting relationship with your spouse or co-parent. And this is not necessarily how friendly you are, but how well are you able to work together? How satisfied are you with how you work together to parent? Just look at that. And there might be things that could be improved. Module 4, which focuses on parenting on the same page and communication, would definitely help with that. And what I really want to try and do, what I do with my one-to-one coaching, is even when the other parent is just not playing ball and is just maybe being difficult or trying to make things difficult, there's a way in which that we can communicate. There's a way in which we can parent that still shields the child and helps them be their best selves regardless of the other parent's behavior. There's a way that we can be. I'll just give you an example. Sometimes when we're so frustrated with the co-parent not parenting the way we want them to be, we focus there and the child gets caught up. So there's a way in which I coach and support parents who just focus your attention on the child so that their behavior doesn't pass through you to the child in some ways. Well, there's so much more to it, I know. The 8th part now is communication. Again, how satisfied are you with how you communicate with your children and how they communicate with you? Do you feel that communication in your home is open and effective and honest? Again, that could be between your spouse, your children, even the siblings. Rate that, how satisfied you are. Module 4 would also help with that. And to be honest, I'd say even module 2 and 3, it's all about communication, right? So they would help with communication as well. The 9th is all about your relationship with your children. How satisfied are you with the relationship? Do you feel like it's strong, positive? Do you feel like you're walking on eggshells? Do you feel like you don't feel as comfortable when you're hanging around maybe one, because of their behavior? Just be honest and just put the number there so that we can really look at it as we make progress. And the whole of the course would help you with your relationship with your child. And the final part, number 10, is conflict resolution. How satisfied are you with how you resolve conflict in your home? Do you walk around it, avoid it? Do you deal with it like, a bull that goes through it? Do you actually work together, and how do you do that? So again, how satisfied are you? Conflict resolution between you and your child, really. Yes, there's also conflict resolution between you and your spouse, but because we're focusing on the parenting, if you're going to look at that, let it be to do with parenting rather than other things like finances and stuff like that. Let's just focus on parenting for this course. Now let's look at parenting goals. Hopefully you've already written what your goals are, so you know where you are based on the parenting wheel of life. Where is it that you're trying to be? What is it that you would, what goals have you set out for your parenting? Let's look at that together. I really want to say in this part that your parenting goals should not be about how your child turns out. A lot of times when I ask parents what their goals are, they in parenting, they say, I just want my child to be happy, or I just want my child to be successful. We don't have any control over that. We can't decide or determine the happiness of somebody else. We can't decide or determine the outcome, whether they'll be successful or not. There are people who didn't have parenting figures who are financially successful, if that's how we measure, or academically successful, if that's how we measure success. And what is success? So I always say, and there are people who and not happy. And you can't really control that. I always say to parents, when you're thinking about your parenting goals, let it be about what you want to achieve as a parent. Your child will benefit from the outcome of the goal, but it has to be about you. So I'd say avoid setting goals that are focused on what you want your children to do, be, or feel. What you want to focus on is who you want to be and how you want to show up as a parent, because you have control there. And then that goal will then have a positive impact on your child. So let's look at the difference between setting outcome-based goals and process-based goals. An outcome-based goal is basically the parent wanting the child to do, be, or feel something, and so that's the outcome they're looking for. And because it's about the child, as we've already said, it can cause issues because it's quite unrealistic and we can't control that. So one of the issues that you might find if you're setting outcome-based goals of what you want your child to do, be, or feel, is number one, you become controlling. Because it's like, if I can just fix, you keep trying to move things around to try and control how they behave or what they do or how they feel. So just have a look at the goals you set, because the only thing is we've already said the only people we can control is us. So we can set goals for ourselves, which will positively impact your children. We'll look at that in a minute. The second thing that you might find if you focus on, goals about what you want your child to do, be, or feel, is that you'll be putting undue pressure on yourself and on your child, setting yourself up for, unrealistic expectations, and for their child as well. It causes stress and anxiety for both parties. It's like, this is not working. It also sets you up for disappointment and feeling guilty, because every time the child isn't showing that outcome, you can go back into feeling like, oh my gosh, what am I not doing right, or whatever. So, and also on the child's part, that pressure could lead to rebellion sometimes. That pressure could lead to just compliance. That pressure could also lead to them, as I've said, being stressed and anxious. It could affect their self-esteem. This sometimes is the issue in parenting, the goals that we set, because that's what drives us. So I'll really encourage us to just revisit the goals we've written down. Are they about your child doing, being, or feeling a certain way? The third problem with setting those kinds of outcome-based goals, these are the things I want for my child, is that it could lead to us ignoring the individual needs of the child. So because we're focused on that, and it sounds like good things, I want them to be successful, but what you see success to be is not what me or somebody else does. So whose needs are we really catering for? I just want my child to be happy, but your definition of what makes someone happy is not what makes them happy. So again, we could be missing the child. So it could cause us to ignore their needs. And the fourth problem here is that it creates a potential for conflict. That's why you see in parenting relationships with a child, the parent is well-intentioned, but still there's conflict, because what we are setting forth for them, what we would love them to achieve, is not how they are seeing life. And to be honest, it does cause conflict that none of us are ready for, and it could be ongoing. And in the end, the person that wins, not really, but wins temporarily, is the person that has more power. And sometimes it's us, sometimes it's them. So instead, let's set process-oriented goals that focus on you taking action, not your child. Our parenting goals should align with our core values, and it's much easier to focus on goals that align with our core values for ourselves, and our children will thrive within that environment that we create. So I'll give you an example. You might set a goal to encourage a growth mindset in yourself. So if you think about it, I want a growth mindset. I want to encourage a growth mindset. If you have a growth mindset, you can see how your child will benefit already. So the goal can be, I want to develop a growth mindset in myself. And then you can have, a secondary goal that says, I want to support my child in developing a growth mindset, a love for learning and resilience. But that comes from the focus being on me to develop a growth mindset. The frustration that a lot of us find sometimes is wanting something for our child that we are not focusing on developing. And that's where the frustration, that's where the modeling's not happening. The authenticity isn't really showing. And then we don't have that drive to be consistent. So focus on parenting goals for you. Another example could be, My goal could be to build my emotional intelligence. Guess what? By building my emotional intelligence, I become more empathetic to my child. I become more emotionally resilient. I learn coping strategies to deal with difficult times. I model better. What's going to happen with your child? Their emotional intelligence is going to go up as well. But the focus is here, and then they benefit. Another goal we could set for ourselves is, I'd like to be more of a critical thinker. I'd like to be more independent, and I'd like to have better problem solving skills. So automatically, as we're developing that, the way in which we respond to our children will also be in a way that fosters critical thinking, problem solving, and you'll find that they will benefit. The key thing is when we focus on goals for us that align with our core values, we automatically model, we automatically are more authentic, and we are more consistent. And those three things really help our children develop those similar values as well as their own values that they will come up with. I'll give you a couple more examples. You might have a goal. This is a big goal for me, to make sure that I work and I develop areas where I have a passion and an interest. Big goal for me. And that means that, I've always taken on jobs and done stuff that I'm really passionate about. Automatically, that's what I do with my kids. Because I'm so focused on that, I don't want them to do things they're not really passionate about. Sometimes I'll say to them, okay, I know you're not passionate about this. Okay, we're going to do this for this reason, but we need to keep our eye on the passion and interest. So that kind of thing. Sometimes I know in life I might have to do work that I'm not passionate about, but that's with the purpose of moving to what I'm passionate about. So that awareness is very clear, and then they benefit from that as well. So I think that's a good example with supporting individuality and your interests, because automatically the parenting goal becomes, I want to nurture my child's individual strengths and interests. The goal is to nurture their strengths, not a goal for them to be this, become this, or do this. And a final example I'll give you is I could have a goal of promoting healthy relationships. If I want to promote healthy relationships, then my parenting goal from there is, I'm going to make sure that I have a healthy relationship with my child. I'm going to communicate with them respectfully. I'm going to show them how to resolve conflict with me first, and all of that. That's the way you'll just see it's a much better relationship, and it's much, much easier to focus on when the parenting goal is around your core values and the focus is on you to make the change and take the action, not your child. So if you've already written your parenting goals, it's a good idea to just take another look and just make sure you're happy with how you've written it. And you might want to just change things around so that the focus is on you and instead of your child, and you'll see a difference. The final part now is your parenting struggles and fears, because these are the things that can hold you back from your goal. Sometimes we don't even realize what these fears are. When I work with parents one-on-one, and for those people on the group coaching course, we might start to hear certain things that you're afraid of that you didn't even realize. And when we parent from a place of fear, we parent unconsciously because we are reacting to things that happened in the past. We're reacting to what we're worried about for the future, and we're not parenting based on what's actually going on in front of us. And that's why you might see our actions not aligning with our values, and then the child is feeling that and their behavior is much worse. So we really need to look at what are the things I struggle with, what are the areas that might be holding me back, what are the areas I haven't really looked properly into, because again we need to look at ourselves, and a lot of times our fears are coming from what's happened in the past. So in the first module, we definitely look at reflecting on your childhood, because that could be affecting how you parent today. I understand that we will have parenting struggles and fears, and I certainly have them, but we need to be conscious and aware enough that those fears are not dictating how we parent today. Our children will thrive and do the best from a conscious parent. That means an aware parent dealing with what's going on today. Imagine if someone was talking to me and I was dealing with what was happening in front of me, I will respond in the best possible way. But if I'm thinking, oh gosh, how can they say that? How dare they? I'm so worried they might end up being this way. What are they thinking I am? Do they think I'm stupid? All that kind of stuff that's coming from thoughts from the past or worries about the future now cause me to overreact. And overreaction is an appropriate reaction to something that happened in the past. And so we're not dealing with our children in the present. So I hope you've written down those struggles and fears. If you are on the self-paced course, make sure you're aware of them as you go through the course and how they're showing up. Maybe make a note of how they're showing up and impacting your parenting. Coaching is great for this. So if you're in the group coaching course, we'll definitely be able to look at these individual areas. And sometimes they're so heavy and keep us so stuck that we need the one-on-one coaching, and that's also available. So please reach out and let's do all that we need to do to get us to our parenting goal and just transform our relationship with our children, improve their behavior, and also improve their emotional regulation. That's it for the introduction. The next time I see you, we will be looking at module 1. See you there.